I'm going to wrap up this wonderful day I've had here with Mr. Ector with a speed round of questions. The man behind the everything else you're known for.
Okay.
In no particular order. To where did you always dream to move?
Texas. If I would ever leave Detroit, state of Michigan, I would go to Texas.
Wow. Because of the political climate, the environmental climate?
Climate, the weather. There's a place down at the southern tip called South Padre Island. Beautiful place to visit, man. There's, of course, the Alamo. Oh, man, full of symbolism there. Every time I go to Texas, I always visit the Alamo. I just love the state of Texas, man. It's a nice place to visit.
We're walking around here in the city. Today is Independence Day. Happy Independence Day. You say remember Memorial Day, but you say Happy Independence Day because our independence from the English. You've been talking about barbecue. You want barbecue.
Yeah, I want some ribs, man.
Texas barbecue, man.
I want some ribs, man. I want some ribs, maybe some baked beans, coleslaw. Yeah.
Now,
I'm ready.
It's a hot day. You got yourself a Coke here,
Uh-huh.
but when you go to a bar, what do you order?
A bar? Oh, man, I can't even remember the last time I've been to a bar,
Not
man.
a drinker, okay.
Well, it's not that I don't drink. I don't drink nowhere near as much as I used to. As a matter of fact, I can't remember the last drink I've had. I don't drink, but it's not like I've sworn it off. It's just that usually when I'm out, I'm usually armed. I don't drink and carry, so if I'm going to drink, I'm going to drink at home or drink at a private affair where I'm not going to leave and be driving. The opportunities for me to drink are severely diminished, so as a consequence, I don't drink.
You're a man of principle. I appreciate that. What book have you given away the most?
What book have I given away the most? As a matter of fact, there is a book that I have given away. I know a gentleman by the name of Ken Blanchard. He's out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland. He's an individual that I sought out when I first became a gun rights advocate. He wrote a book that is like the seminal book about gun rights activism in the black community. This book is entitled Black Man with a Gun. I actually sought out Ken at a gun rights policy conference many years ago. I drove by myself because everyone that was going to come with me, they sold me out, but I was committed to going and meeting this guy. I went down to the gun rights policy conference. I met him and we've been friends ever since. Great mentor to me, and his book is still in print. You can still get it on Amazon. Black Man with a Gun. Must get.
When's your next book coming out?
Man, I've been working on a book for a minute. Keep watching, man. Keep watching. It's going to be out, and I'll figure out what aspect I'm going to focus on first. There's going to be a book about my story and how I was robbed, victimized, become a gun rights advocate, and then there's going to be some type of book on how to do this women's event that I do every year, how to replicate it and do it all over the country. There's at least several books in me, man. I'm going to do it one at a time, but I'm just going to keep working on it, and one day it'll be finished. In
the meantime, Detroit CCW on Instagram and YouTube. Check out Rick Ector. A couple weeks ago, I turned 32.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I'm getting old. I'm getting gray hair.
You want to see gray hair? Let me take this hat off.
What one piece of advice would you give your 32-year-old self?
Keep learning, keep speaking. I think speaking is the growth and the pathway to everything, the exchange of ideas. My 32-year-old self was doing some speaking, but I would encourage that version of myself to speak more and to actually write more and have a book published before you're 52.
How old were you when all this started? I never asked you that question.
Well, I'm 52 now, and that was about, 14, 15 years ago? So that's what? Do the math, right?
Yeah, sorry. So 2006?
Somewhere around there. Yeah,
5, 6, 7? Man, I graduated high school in 2007. Since I've been out of high school, you've been in this, and to think this is not what happens to everyone. I don't care. Movies make you think that the world is crazy, but like you went from someone robbing you to now you've turned it all around, and you're the expert, and you're helping people not have that happen to them. Like
exactly.
That's not every case that happens.
I mean, it's taking a negative incident that you wish never had happened, something that was easily, when it happened, was the worst possible thing that could happen during that era. Now, I did something about it. I addressed it so that it won't ever happen. Then I realized that there are other people that this may happen to, if not for someone like me, to prepare them for it and to deal with it if and when it does happen. And that has grown and morphed into gun rights advocacy so that this right is always present and available for people in the future. I took something that was negative and I made it a positive. I've enjoyed the journey every step of the way.
Amen. Make lemons out of lemonade.
Yes, sir.
What is your favorite scent?
That would be cinnamon. Like if I was to be walking in the mall and I would smell those cinnamon rolls coming out of the oven, yeah.
Did you know that in America, the legal definition of cinnamon is very broad? There are a lot of things that are in the same family, but not exactly cinnamon, that when you're buying cinnamon, you may have been buying fake, like a stand-in for cinnamon. Fun fact. No.
Did not know that.
I'm a culinarian, so I can't help it.
Let me get on Jeopardy and that question comes up. I will nail it, man.
Fun facts here. Would you rather be smart or clever?
I'd rather be smart, man. I'd rather know stuff rather than be clever and witty and a wordsmith. No, I'd rather be intelligent. I'd rather know some stuff, yeah.
Because maybe if you're intelligent, you have the bigger picture, all the parts. But if you're clever, you don't need to have the bigger picture. You could just be good on your feet, but it doesn't mean that you're right. It just means that you're good on your feet.
You're just good on your feet and speak really well, but there may not necessarily be any depth there.
If you were teaching a 9th grade class and you can teach them just one subject, anything you want, anything, what would the class be on?
American history.
Where do you start American history?
Oh, you start with the Revolution, man. American Revolution, and carry it all the way up until now, man. Our focus would be on some of the things that we did and espoused and believed then, and compare and contrast it with what we're doing now and some of the mistakes that we made along the way. How do we keep that memory and that lesson alive so that we don't run the risk of repeating those mistakes in the future?
Do you believe that history is linear or cyclical? Does it repeat itself, or is it just always going forward?
I think it's cyclical, man. I think if you don't learn the lessons that were allegedly learned before, we're doomed to repeat them. Especially in this age now where everyone wants to pull down statues and burn libraries, man. You know?
Yeah, we're sitting, by the way, we're sitting underneath a statue and in the shadow of a library, just for context.
Just for context, man. And you know what? Shame on us if we did not learn the lessons that other people had to learn the hard way. Learning is not necessarily based on your own experiences. You can learn vicariously by living through other people and looking what they're going through or what they went through for you to realize, well, you know what? I don't want to do that because something bad happened to this person.
Leave us with some wisdom that you have. With this quarantine, I'm stuck here in Detroit. I'm not out at Tea Party events, so I'm not talking to a lot of conservatives. So I want to hear.
What's that?
I want to hear your wisdom.
My wisdom, man.
With that hard to follow setup.
Especially within the context of lockdowns and restrictions that people would impose upon you, whether this virus, this pandemic is out here, the thing that I always espouse and always will continue to believe in is rights and your freedoms, and to protect them at all costs, no matter what the dangers or perceived dangers may be. We have a pandemic, we have a virus, but you know what? That does not cause us to do an end around the Constitution. Allow me to decide what risks that I want to take. And with more information, maybe we'll find that this thing isn't as bad as we think it is. Let's just say that it was. My life, my right. I only supported the shutdown or the slowdown in its initial stages because I found the logic they used to make sense to me. That is, we don't want to overrun the hospitals and not have people needlessly die because they can't be treated. Once we've done that, and once we realize that this virus is going to be with us for a while, at some point in time, you have to allow people to reclaim their lives, make whatever changes they feel comfortable with. But at the end of the day, we still have to live, man. And I tell you, being locked in your home, that's a really sad existence. I'd rather not be here, man.
I pray to the Lord that in 5 years, if this video lives on, that it'll be a memory in our past that's quickly fading, this quarantine. Any wisdom to the ones watching in 5, 10, and so many years?
5, 10 years, who knows what will be happening then, man. But if you look back at this video, and it's been 5 years or so, reference this video and say, I remember I saw these two guys talking about this very same thing, but then they were talking about the coronavirus. Today we're talking about this new thing. They're operating under the same exact circumstances. They were telling us not to give in to fear, to protect your freedom, and to live your life, and that's what we should do. We should do what those two guys said and espoused 5 years ago.
True then, true now, true later. That's beautiful. Mr. Ector, thank you.
Hey man, you know what? We've been talking about finishing up this thing for the longest, and you know what? 4th of July, look, I called you and was like, look, man, let's get this done, man. You were graciously allowed us to get together and to complete this project. I can't wait to see what the finished work looks like.
All right, Mr. Ector, thank you very much.
Hey man, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.